Also keeping on top of a promise the president made a little less than an hour ago to U.S. auto workers. Listen.
I think your auto workers and your auto companies in this country are going to be very happy with what's going to happen. You'll be seeing very soon what I'm talking about. NAFTA is very difficult. Mexico has been very difficult to deal with. Canada has been very difficult to deal with. They have been taking advantage of the United States for a long time. I am not happy with their requests, but I will tell you, in the end, we win.
All right, the president talking that he will have a NAFTA deal. It won't be a skinny NAFTA deal. Something will happen to sort of shake this thing and get something going. The market watcher Jim Lacamp, Moody's chief capital markets economist John Lonski. John Lonski, what if he doesn't? What if it doesn't happen and they fear that this has been pushed back, that it can't happen this year?
Well, if it doesn't happen, of course, that runs some risks as far as the upcoming November elections are concerned. And that could create some problems in states that specialize in auto production, Michigan and the like.
You know, Jim, you could argue that the deal he could be on the cusp of with China would more than compensate for that. Not that American auto workers are in any imminent danger. They're firing on all proverbial cylinders, pardon the pun. And now China could be committed to buying a lot more of them, or certainly removing the impediments for our guys to sell them. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a mitigating factor in this whole thing. And look, the president's fighting multiple battles on multiple fronts at the same time. That's usually not a good strategy, and it might even put China in a better position to negotiate with Mexico and Canada. Furthermore, it's not only the U.S. that has elections coming up. Mexico has a very big election coming up, and if the far-left candidate who's in the lead wins, well, who's to say he might not want to renegotiate this thing the minute he gets into office? So there are a lot of cross currents here, and there's a lot of risk in negotiating several deals around the world and fighting several battles at the same time. I do agree, though, if China does relax these tariffs, it could be a bigger plus than not renegotiating NAFTA would be a minus.
You know, John, you could also step way back from this and say, whatever you think of, whatever the final deal is, let's say with China. And I know there are a lot of critics say, well, the Chinese have not done more than we want, not done enough, in other words. But they're doing more and committing to more, even verbally, than they ever have before with any president of either party. So it would be better than what was out there. But the flip is that all of a sudden we're competing with the Germans and the Japanese and others for the same business as China. I think we're up to that task. But you almost have to be careful what you wish for, because everyone's getting it, right?
Yeah, I think we have to give Trump credit for being bold enough to bring these issues out into the open, to have more transparency as far as what's going on the trade front. These were issues, matters that in the past were very much kept hidden from the American voter and the American worker.
Guys, thank you both very, very much.